under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft to give you, the viewer, a better idea of where you're going. And today I'm going to be working on some developmental edits, working on somebody else's project for a change. I also had an idea.
What?
This is something that I do, when time allows and on occasion. But I thought, would people be interested in like a first chapter analysis or a questionnaire that would give them a structural analysis? Because this would cover the major problems that I see time and time again and save a lot of people from being victimized by the so-called editors out there who fail to see these things over and over and over after you pay them good money.
Robert, I think this is a genius idea, and I think that you should do it as since we're talking books and you guys know how much I'm all about the email list. I think you should use it as an email magnet. I think you should do a video about it and talk about the problems, and then I think you should give that draft out as a download when people sign up for your newsletter list.
Yeah.
Yes. All
It would
right.
be cheaper for me to do, and it would
It was
save a lot of people time and money for sure for a
right,
relatively small
exactly.
fee.
Yeah, it would be super, super helpful for a lot of different people. And I mean, I think there are some experienced authors who would, because sometimes you're just like, this isn't working and I don't know why. And it's good
Yeah,
to kind of
exactly.
go through like, okay, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am
Have
I
a
doing
different
this?
set of eyes, yes.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
all need that.
We do. And you need a mailing list. So I feel like that is like a magical combination. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. When you're setting it up, if you're like, well, okay, when am I going to do this? Let me know and I will help you through the process. Michelle Schusterman is here today. I'm so glad to see you. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
All right. My name's Michelle. I write young adult and middle grade mysteries. Well, no, books. But speaking of, I'm finishing a revision of my middle grade mystery today. That is my goal. I don't know if I'll finish it on this live stream, but I will finish it today, I think. I'm very excited.
Yay. That is super, super awesome. Look, Mary's like on board. Yes, on first chapter. Sign me up. Yeah. See? Yes. Exactly. All right. So let's come through. Esperanza is here. Hello. We are super glad to see you today. Did I do my intro? Hi, I'm a traditionally published / indie published author, aka a hybrid. My name's Lisa Daly. And if you want to write a book you're super proud of and get it published, this is a great channel to start with, or any of these, because these people are awesome. Right? Exactly. Guess who's here? Booktube goddess. Now, Daisy X Machina. Love, love. The speculative detective. I
Those
love
are both excellent.
Nice.
I know, right?
Always
Love,
love a
love.
good detective.
We know you do. We know you do, Robert. All right. If I can't help it because you no matter what your handle is, you're always a goddess. So if we do slip back and call you the goddess, well, it's just because it just emanates from you. We can't help ourselves. So, all right. Love that though. I love the speculative detective. That's a mouthful too, but I'm digging it. Kristen's here. Hello, Kristen. We are super, super glad to see you. Mary says, I just like hearing Robert say Sherlockian microscope. Let's say it, Robert. Let's thrill the writers here today. Go ahead.
Microscope.
Yeah, we love that. All right, that is totally awesome. Rebecca J, I'm finally able to catch one of these. Yay! We are so glad you are here today. Very, very nice. Mama Ward is here. Hello, glad to see you today. Maya, hi. So nice to meet you. I don't know if I'm not recognizing your name, but I love the vibe in your. I wish I could make you bigger. I love the vibe in your little avatar here in your profile pic, right? Super cute. Like that's just someone you want to hang out with, and she's fun. I can tell. She's fun and smart, and she's going to tell you the truth if you're making a dumb decision. Tell me if I'm right, Maya. I feel strongly about this. You're fun to hang out with. You're smart, and if I'm screwing up my life, you're going to let me know. Okay. All right, let's see. Andrea's here. Hello. Super, super glad to see you. Angel's here. Hello, Angel. We're very glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Very, very nice to see you. All right. I am Amaya said, see, I was right. Spot on. You can know your profile picture is like the one, because if someone could go like, "Oh, you're this kind of person, is that right?" And you go, "Yep, that's it. Done, done." Yeah, you do. All right, love that. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with our 5-minute time. We have some interesting questions today. However, if you are here to ask questions of these experienced and exciting people, feel free to drop it in the chat. We always try to answer the chat questions first, but I have a bag load of questions that have been sent in over the week. So all right,
Yay.
let's go ahead and do our before we go, Regina's here. Hello, Regina. So glad to see you. All right, so we are going to start off with our first timer, do a 5-minute warm-up sprint. Let me just pull this sucker right up here. All right, here we go. Did we talk about what we'll talk about when we come back? We're going to talk about what we're working on. You guys let us know in the chat. But for now, we're going to start this first 5-minute sprint. We're going to get your drink, do your little finger stretches. I don't know if that's a thing. Some people might do it. Shake your brain, get it rolling this morning, and let's hit it. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Wrong timer.
I will actually be back in 1 second. I hear they're mowing the lawn out here, and I need to move a chair out of the way.
Gotcha. All right. Solo hosting. Hey, Lisa's back. Thank God.
I have no idea what happened. It just like when yeah, it just all of a sudden I heard you and then it kicked me off and now the timer is going off. So sorry for the abrupt stop, you guys. Let me go ahead and yeah. Oops, everybody. Oh my gosh. So sorry. All right, Robert and I were talking about this earlier today. Like, it feels like there's just something going on with the universe that is, yeah, exactly. So, okay, hi, we're back, everybody. Welcome back. I hope the writing's going very well. Speaking of which, what is everybody working on today? Let us know in the chat. Robert is gone. Michelle, what are you working on today?
I'm finishing my middle grade mystery revision. Yay.
That's right. From 3 seconds ago, I've already forgotten. I will be working on Hockey Romance today. I'm so close to the end of the book, but not quite done. And it's like,
I know that feeling.
yeah, right? Not quite done. Maybe, hopefully by next week. Maybe I'll finish on the stream next week. We'll keep our fingers crossed. All right. So we'll find out what Robert's working on. What are you guys working on in the chat? Let us know. Mama Worth says, haha, no, now I'm on both streams. StreamYard has a new and exciting thing where you can live stream from multiple channels at a time. And since the three of us always do this together, we thought, oh, that'd be fun. We could do it on Robert's channel, we could do it on Michelle's channel. And yeah, super cool. So thanks, Mama Ward, for giving everybody the watch time. We really appreciate that. Spence is working on Substack posts and my romance novel series, resisting the urge to stop committing crimes and go outside. Yeah. You know what? Oh my gosh. My mother's here and she basically lives in the pool when she comes to visit. If we're not at the beach, we're at the pool for sure, like in our pool. And I have been writing out there all week and I have taken to dictating lately. And because I feel like it's faster, the editing is more, but I really just have started to really enjoy dictating books. And I have been dictating my novel all week in the pool, like floating around. Like, I know.
Sounds lovely.
Wasn't it? I had this like sort of thing the other day. Like, I don't know, maybe the second day I did it, so probably Monday or something. Anyway, so I had this thing where I'm floating and it's so beautiful and wonderful outside, and you hear like this little tinkle um, of the wind chimes and there's a little water feature, and I'm just like, how could your life be any better than this? Like, I'm literally floating in a pool doing my work, which is, the thing that I like the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Dictation, I think a lot of writers are catching on, but I also think we're a little behind in this. If you're doing art, like digital coloring, for example, they'll hire like somebody that works for relatively cheap to lay in a flat color on everything. And it might be a color that they wouldn't necessarily use, but then they can go in and paint over it because that base color is already down and it saves them a whole lot of time and energy. And I think that's what dictation does for us.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. It took me a while to kind of get into the vibe of it, and I was always able to do it with nonfiction, but I struggled a little bit with fiction. And I still like to write the kissing scenes by hand. I don't know why. Maybe because it takes longer and those are the best parts. Who knows? But yeah, so I really in the last few months just really kind of gone full into it. And I just noticed that every single day that I dictate, I get so many more words. I had a 5,000 like word day a week and a half ago. I didn't even break a sweat. I had a number of scenes all lined up and it just was just easy peasy. So I'm really loving it. RC Scott is here. We're very glad we're very, very glad you made it today. Andre, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Indeed.
Check Michelle's link on your description. Oh, is it bad? All right, I'll go back. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. I'll do that on the next sprint. Trying to finish this album review I'm writing for this local alternative band. Very cool. It's very much like a concept album, so I'm approaching it more like a blog. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you guys all just hear Siri, or was that just in my head? Okay. Yes, I know, right? I have no idea what it was, but as soon as I heard that, like somebody came back on, and then all of a sudden, gone. Gone, gone, gone. Ooh, okay. So Lainey's writing a bonus epilogue today, and then we'll be cutting out early. Is the bonus epilogue like a little bonus material for your newsletter readers? I say yes, but dying to know. Rebecca, good morning. Working on final edits for my book before I start querying. Yay! This live stream was a nice surprise to keep me company. Yay! We're so glad about that. If you there so good luck with your query. If you have questions about it, there are lots and lots of people both on the screen and in the chat who can help. So Stacy's here. Hello. So glad to see you. Stacy's going to be reading for a meeting. Oh, IEP meeting, so important. Good job. Very nice. Esperanza is going to be doing revisions of the magical realism lit fic book today. Ooh, love that. Angel's got some brainstorming to do. Male paranormal romance today. Very nice. Very nice. Regina doing a little wordsmithing today, enjoying the part of editing where I input the corrections I've made. Love that. I love the editing part. This is the other thing I think that's so cool about dictating your book is that you get to the, like, for me, that's my favorite, that wordsmithing afterwards. That's the part of it that I love the most about writing. So I think one of the things that's cool about dictating is that you get there faster. There's more of it and you get there faster.
Yes.
So maybe if, I mean, who knows, a year from now, I might have completely flipped, but at this point, all right, I'm working on a cowboy. Okay. I love this. I'm working on a cowboy themed Monster Hunter TT RPG. All right. I know what RPG is. What is TT? Does anybody?
No idea.
All right, Maya, you're going to have to tell us. RPG is role-playing game. As you guys probably all know, I was probably the last person to know that. Tabletop, horror geek with the win. This is a tabletop RPG. I really love that. That is awesome. All right, Andre is trying to not distract myself, write something, anything. You know what? I was on a call with Renee Rose yesterday, a big Zoom call. Because Renee has recently fallen in love. Now, she's like a big 7-figure best-selling author, but she's like struggling to write right now because she has just recently like met someone and is falling in love and wants to spend all of her time with her boyfriend, which of course we all understand, right? Anybody and who's ever been in a new relationship knows the pull of that. But she had this call to sort of help get people on track, and there are a lot of people who are sort of feeling that right now where there are too many distractions, or you're procrastinating, or you're beating yourself up because you've not been writing as much as you think you have. And her advice was to just be accepting of yourself and go like, okay, well, this is where I am today, and if I continue to beat myself up or put that kind of pressure on myself, it's just going to make it harder. So I'm just going to do my best and go forward and be okay with what I'm doing. And I think there's something kind of freeing about that.
Yeah. Also take notes about the romance, and even if you're procrastinating what you're worrying about, because that could be a character in your next novel.
That is the truth, right? That is the truth. Well, I mean, I will say, like, when I was writing Single Minded, that's when the horror geek and I like were falling in love. And there's something so special to me about that book because my character and I were both falling in love at the same time. What?
That's really cute.
Yeah,
Oh.
true. True. All right. Send final of some I can never say this word. Anemones are blue to the pub house yesterday and decided to go over my Nano 22 project, how to become a crazy cat lady to survive the zombocalypse.
Zombocalypse.
Chapter 1 seems too info dumpy. Yep, that's it.
That's a challenge.
Yes, Mary, I believe if you write while floating in your pool, it is in fact a tax write-off. And since you guys live in sunny California, you probably have lovely weather for pools all year round. Pools, beaches, no. I'm a total fire sign. Wind and water, not my friends. I am part mermaid, so I have to have like right. I'm like, no wonder I'm writing so great. I'm literally in the water. It's great. Spence says, cliche perfect day outside. I really should grab up all my plans and go outside. But if I go outside, I have to take the twins, or outside, I have to stop them from eating bugs. It's harder to concentrate when you have to be on bug watch. That is absolutely the truth.
You know, thinking about it, cats could be useful in a zombie apocalypse because they're kind of sensitive to danger. Dogs would be useless because they'd give away your position every time.
Right, right, because they wag their tails and then they go right over and ask for treats. Yep, true. All right, Victoria, you've got this. You are going to nail all your finals. You're killing it. Oop, there goes that. Okay, so that mic smack is our signal that it's time to do a 20-minute sprint. All right, here we go. I'm very excited today. I think I told you guys already, I am working once again on a hockey romance.
Yay.
Although I may go ahead, sorry.
No, I just said yay.
Yay. I know I'm excited about it too. I may take one of our sprints to do it is going to be a 20-minute sprint. This is me running 2 timers at once. I may take one of our sprints to work on website notes because I'm super excited about my website. All right, you guys, here we go. 20 minutes on the clock. We are going to make this happen. Everybody who wants to write is going to have a great 20-minute sprint. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. You've got this. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I got to get our little timer back up and rolling. Okay. So, how did everybody do on that last sprint? How'd you do, Robert?
I did well. I got through one chapter, made some notes, and started another. So things are moving along.
Very, very nice. I don't know what Michelle's got going on back there. You're good, honey. Don't worry. Get your coffee.
Yep.
That's job one. Okay. Okay. So let's do so. I actually did really well too. I had to like take a quick doorbell break, but other than that, I was good. Okay. So love, love, love. Catherine was saying she's not sure her brain could work that way as far as dictation. So I know it took me a little while to get used to it. It really
Yeah,
did.
it's not easy because it just looks clumsy and there's a lot of errors that show up and you're tempted to go back and fix them. But
Don't.
yeah,
You'll figure out too, like one of my characters' name is Coco. And of course, always her name is spelled Coco, but every time the dictation software, well, I shouldn't say that. The dictation software that Michelle recommended, which is literally called Dictate,
yeah, that's really good.
yeah, it is pretty good. And initially, it would always say Coco, Cocoa. But after I corrected it several times, now it spells Coco like my character's name. So I corrected it like right in the app, and it did not take very long. It was just a couple. There are the punctuation mark or the quotation marks on one side on the left side are always there's always a weird space. I don't know why, but that kind of stuff is really easy to fix, and you get so like you could write 1,000 words like that. Just
Yeah,
talking.
once
Yeah.
you get going at it, it has the same kind of flow that you'll surprise yourself after a little and start coming up with things that you dictate in the moment that's faster than you could think writing. So it
Right.
has benefits as well as a few setbacks and things.
It does. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it definitely is a lot more editing. But the other thing too is like the thing that feels so clunky in the beginning, which is like, quote, get over here, exclamation point, comma, quote, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
He said, like that stuff is hard to get used to at first because you're not used to speaking those things out loud. But then once you do, and it doesn't take that long, but once you do get used to it, like it really, then you're not going to worry about it. Although I will say my mother was also floating in the pool with me because she's here on a visit. And I was, even though I've been dictating a lot, I was a little self-conscious about dictating the book in front of my mother.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I will say, I will not be dictating the sex scenes.
What was about to say?
Yeah, so that would be bad. That would be dead. Oh, I feel you. I definitely feel you. All right, so if only the dictation would get the spelling right the first time. Yeah, it is challenging for
No.
sure.
I
But
have noticed for Apple users that the Pages app is better. It doesn't shut off. It used to, as soon as you pause to think, it's shutting itself off, but they fixed it so it's not shutting off like it used to. So that's getting better.
God,
uh
it's so annoying.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That was really bad. That was the reason why that was the reason that Dictate app that you had recommended was so valuable because it
Yeah.
will just sit there waiting for you to think and it
Yes.
will not shut off and you don't have to doesn't make that little dink noise. So yeah.
The shut off thing was like, that app people used to use where you would type and if you stopped typing, it would delete everything you wrote. And the motivation was to make you keep typing. That's what that shut off felt like to me.
Oh, it's the pressure. Well, I would be like just in the flow and I'm just like thinking of the right thing to say. And then it's like, dink, and it stops recording. And then you have to like go through the whole thing again. It was a giant pain. Plus, I love that like I would not take my laptop, my brand new Mac laptop. I would not take that in the pool, but I do not mind taking my phone, which apparently can survive a 2-minute dip in the pool. I don't mind taking my phone out there. And the floats we have are like completely above the water. They have like a little cup holder. So I can do the whole thing without ever getting wet. Unless unless I want to. Lainey says the TT of our TT RPG was not tabletop, but time travel. Okay. So Mom Ward says nope. Is that nope to time travel or nope to tabletop?
or dictation.
Right. Or nope to dictation. Right. Exactly.
By the way, Lisa, how are you liking the new Magic keyboard on the Mac? better than the previous?
I love it. I really love it. I don't, I'm such a nerd for old Mac keyboards. I really like, they always had such a great feel, but I really do love the keyboard, especially after my last one, which is a big piece of crap, the Mac keyboard that I had last time. Um, I really like this one. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I
Gone in
like
there
it.
to,
The previous keyboard I only liked when it was the little 12-inch, because on the small one I kind of didn't mind it, but for a bigger laptop, no, it's just like not enough travel, doesn't have a good tactile feel.
mhm. I get that. Yeah, I don't know. It took a little while to get used to it, and I still prefer this one
Mm.
over pretty much all other keyboards.
Yeah, those are the best, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I'm actually writing with my computer on my lap, I like it. And oh my god, I'm so much faster. Like I didn't realize how much the triple P's and were and double R's were screwing with my timing, and I feel like everything is so much easier. I wish we could all have something in our lives where we're like, "Oh my god, that why was everything so difficult?" Mama Ward wants you to know that in her story, cats are the protection and the cure, while dogs know to run from the zombies as quickly and quietly as possible.
Interesting.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, the protection is good because they would be so quiet. Like I said, they could sense when danger is coming without barking and giving things away. So
Yes.
it's something I thought about because watching zombie movies and then hearing the dog barking, I'm like, yeah, I could see this could be a detriment.
Mhm. I know. Well, I love that you're thinking about that. That's the kind of thing that the horror geek thinks about all day long. Like, do we have enough zombie protection in our home? So, well, I'm gonna just leave that up to you, sweetie. Yes, right, Angel? Yes, yes, yes. Playoffs are happening right now. Like I had a big sort of crisis over the week where I'm like, this book is not ready to be up yet. The editing's not done. And just like the bumps and bruises of indie publishing fiction slash series for the first time. And so I had decided that I was going to delay my pre-order, but you can't delay it. You can only delay it by 30 days, and it's going to let me delay it. And the longest I can delay is I think June 17th, which is the last day of the Stanley Cup playoffs if it goes to a game 7. So thank you, Angel. You and me, girl. We're right here. All right. I don't know what that is. Mama Ward says, fun bit is the main character is a cat allergic librarian, and she bemoans, why? Why did it have to be cats? Love it. Love, 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 love. RC's got a whole thing. He's got a whole deal for you. Love, 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 love. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the comments. Eva's here. Can't stay but wanted to swing by and hit the. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it. Emma, thank you so, so much. You're also live. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. I really so appreciate that. You guys are the best. I really love you to death. All right, let's go ahead and do one more sprint, and then we are going to answer some questions when we came back because I feel like we're a little bit late and I want to catch us up because obviously the writing is pretty important. That's why we're all here today. All right, so let's get 20 more minutes of writing sprints down today. I'm feeling very good about everybody writing. So deep breath, big drink of your water, and let's make the magic happen. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's cha cha. All right. Here we go. Hold on. Let's remove that. There we go. All right, everybody. How'd everybody do on the last sprint?
Good.
Okay.
I was muted. Sorry.
There's a chapter, make a note, start another.
I know I've got that. I totally have that. Very, very nice. How about you guys? How'd your chat go? How'd your writing go? That's what I want to know. Mama Ward says cut 212 words from chapter 1. Yeah. Spence got lunches, got herself lunch, got her twins lunch, and then wrote 280 in her Substack weekly update. Love, love, love. I'm really looking at Substack. I'm on the fence about it. I'm really thinking about going over there though. Moving my newsletter to Substack. That is a new thing. What'd you say?
I recommend.
Yeah.
Really motivated me to do my newsletter every week now. Like I don't know why. It's so easy and it looks nice. I did not like the server I was using. I didn't like how the newsletters actually looked, but I like how Substack looks, and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of dig it. I really do. I think it's like an interesting way. And I love the ability of the readers to like comment. I think that's super cool. Are cool. Okay, fantastic. Esperanza wrote 1.5 new scenes. Right now I'm adding some missing scenes throughout the manuscript. Yeah, exactly. Mama Ward struggling with doing the punctuation while dictating. I feel that. There you go. Victoria says dictation will never work. I write to avoid speaking. Totally get that. Nice. Very, very nice. Ben. So savvy. Abby, the author, says Coco sounds like a buddy for Odin. Right. She's a person. She's a human, but there is a dog in the book named Rufus. Just so you know. All right. Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Mama Ward says dictation's the only way I can get in 1K in an hour. But then I'm fixing it for an hour. Yeah, very nice. That's great. That's absolutely great. Hi, everybody. Yeah, not dictating the sex scenes. At least not next to mom. I didn't have any problem dictating them when I was like alone in my office, but even with Horror Geek next door, I have to close the door. But yeah, that. So triple P's. Oh, so for those of you who are new and don't know, my old Mac keyboard, not just mine, many Mac keyboards had, what were they called? Like the butterfly keyboard, but they were really problematic, and Mac changed a bunch of them out. And I've been using Mac since I was like in college. So approximately 1 million years. This is the only time I've ever had a Mac keyboard. I didn't like it, but it would stick constantly and you could not fix it. I took it in. It was a giant pain in the neck. And essentially what I would do is often have to go back and correct and take extra P's out of everything. And it was so
P's are the worst.
Oh, they're the worst. Triple P's. Yes. But yeah, that was it. Right? Exactly. So the thing is I never had a MacBook that did that. Bless you, Horror Geek. I'd never had a keyboard that did that before. And the new one is good, but yeah, it was just the one. And apparently there was there was just a lawsuit about it. But because I never got my keyboard replaced, I do not qualify. So anyway. Hi, so glad to see you. So we're about to answer writer questions, and we were just talking about Mac keyboards. Okay, you're officially all caught up. Dun, dun. We also talked about zombies previously. Mama Ward says I also explained why the zombies don't decay, how it spreads so fast when the zombies are quiet. The ancient Egyptians survived it first. Fascinating.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it really does. Very, very. Jen writes, romance. Hello. We are super glad to see you today. Devin's here. Hello, Devin. Very, very glad to see you. Angel, no words, but I did some research about venture capitalists. Totally feel that. Research, not venture capitalists so much, just research in general. I have a figure skater in my book, and I have been doing a lot of figure skating. Research. Like, what is this? Like a thing where you're like, what's the one called where they do this and then they go like that? Yeah, that's exactly. All right. Mama Word says people are definitely liking Substack. I have just realized, like, I'm on a couple of Substack news. I subscribe to a couple of Substack newsletters, and I really dig them. So I think I'm going to switch over, at least for my personal newsletter. I think I'm definitely going to do that. Love, love, love. Yeah, you can. There are subscriptions for Substack, like paid subscriptions for Substack, but you can also do them for free. Are you doing a paid one or a free one, Michelle? Free.
No, not. I mean, I wouldn't be closed to the idea, but it's just like with Patreon. I don't know what I would charge for. I don't have the energy to come up with paid content. That's really what it comes down to. But it's
I I know, I definitely know that. Definitely know that. Yep, get it, get it, get it. All right. So, here are our questions today. The first one I thought was interesting. We've had this question. I feel like we had a question similar to this one before. I'm writing my first steamy romance book and I can't decide whether or not to use a pen name. What do you think? So, I I think there are lots of good reasons for using a pen name or not using a pen name. Uh,
Hmm.
Folks in the chat, let us know what your thoughts are on this. I do sort of wish that I had chosen a pen name for my nonfiction work or vice versa, that I had just done something a little bit differently, because it can sort of screw up the Amazon algorithm if you have a bunch of different kinds of books under one author name. And I think readers sometimes get disappointed. You think that there's going to be a crossover with your regular name. Like, I used to write dating advice books and then I started writing romance, and you think, well, these people are all into love, they'll like them, but that's not necessarily true. A lot of
yeah.
people don't like fiction, so they just want to, like, find somebody to hook up with and fall madly in love with, and that's it. They don't want to read about other people doing that, especially imaginary people. So if it were me going back, I would definitely, knowing now what I know, I would go back, and even if I didn't do a completely different pen name, I would find some way to differentiate nonfiction writing Lisa Daly from fiction writing Lisa Daly. Robert, you're nodding along. What say you?
Well, I went through like 3 or 4 different pen names, and I liked a couple of them for a while, and then I decided to just use my own name, but use it differently if I, work in different genres, because unless there's a good reason, like you have a popular series or something out there and you want to do something completely different and change your name, great. Otherwise, Robert Jones has a completely different connotation and genre feel than something like R.W. Jones.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Now we know, though, if we're looking for RW, if we find RW Jones, we know it's you. You've already outed yourself today.
Uh,
Uh, how you heard it here first, folks. Michelle, how about you? Because you're branching out, right? You're doing middle grade, and then you've written this adult romance or
Yeah,
adult
and
mystery. Yeah.
I I've thought about like if I ever got my adult fiction published, I wouldn't use a total pen name, but I might use another variation on my name. The
Hmm.
initials, I like initials, or just like Schusterman. Honestly, that's my married name. It might be sometimes I think it might be kind of cool to like publish something in my actual surname, which is
Yeah.
Sheila. Um, but I don't know how. I don't know. I really it's a situational thing. Like I did it once with middle grade because my co-author and I wanted to like create these like Lemony Snicket kind of personas for ourselves, which
Hmm.
was honestly really fun. And I like that we did it, but I also kind of wish I hadn't because those books aren't on my Amazon profile.
Right.
I mean, my name is in the back of them and it's like very openly me. It's not a secret, but like
Right.
they don't come up as my books. And that was something I wish I had thought through.
Well, you know what? I can give you, if you want them to come up as your books under your under Michelle Schusterman,
Yeah.
you can just send a note to Amazon through Amazon Author Central, and
Okay.
they can add your other books in for you.
Oh, well, shoot. I didn't know that, and I will do that. Thank you.
Solved today. You are welcome.
I think it also makes a difference if you're traditionally published or self-published, because traditional publishers like to pigeonhole your name with a specific thing that they're going to market you for.
Yeah.
Whereas self-publishing, I like the idea of being multi-genre. And if you're somebody that's going to get bored with writing the same thing all the time, then I suggest if you write one book, you put out another and work on a couple of different series and establish yourself as being multi-genre.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I do know a lot of indie published authors or hybrid authors who are actually in traditional published. Like Nora Roberts has been doing books under JD Robb, a different kind of book,
Mhm.
different kind of name, under
Okay.
JD Robb for a long time. When J.K. Rowling wrote her adult books, I think she used a pen name. I don't remember what it was, but she used a pen name. So it is something like you sometimes see, but it's also nobody ever brings that up. Like when I wrote for Penguin, when I wrote Stop Getting Dumped, which is nonfiction dating advice, and my very next book with them was 15 Minutes of Shame, a romantic comedy. No one ever said, "Hey, you want to use two different pen names for this, or are we just going with the same
Yeah.
one?" So Regina
Yeah.
says, I'm writing my second lesbian romance, and yes, I'm using a pen name because Regina Duke writes sweet romance. This is the approach that I mostly see with indie authors. I know a number of authors who have like 7 pen names because they're like, well, I write cowboy romance under this, and I write this under this, and this under this. And I do think it helps. I think there are some readers who are just going to love everything you write, no matter whether it contains cowboys or shapeshifters or just, your typical couple down the street or a mystery or whatever. There are some people who will just love and read everything. And we want those people. They're called super fans. We heard you. Um, but a lot of people just like to stay in their genre. So as far as reading,
Yeah.
Mama says different pen names are important if you have safe for kid, yep, or safe for workbooks, and then you have a collection of steamy and spicy because
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was the first thing that came to my mind is when I would definitely recommend a pen name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that would be the really recommended extreme.
yeah. Well, Caro, you guys remember Caro is a teacher and she had to come up with a pen name because another teacher had gotten fired for writing steamy stuff on her own time.
Oh, what? What? She got fired?
The
Oh, who got
teacher, I think, the teacher got fired
But
for writing. It was, I think she said, I think that's what Caro said, isn't it? I could be completely
Something like
I
that.
don't remember, but it seems, I mean, unless I'm missing a part of the story, if she was writing, not giving it to the children, but like on her own writing romance?
I want to say it was erotica for one thing.
Okay.
Second, and I'm with you. I'm not, and I believe it was a private school, which is why I think they were able to get away with that.
Mm.
A lot of the
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot
I
of
mean,
yeah.
she should have used a pen name because her kids are going to Google her. Like we all, as teachers, know this. Our kids Google us, but I don't think that's a fireable offense. Like
I don't think it should be either, but
that's
I don't, and I just don't. But also,
Hmm.
yeah, but that's something to consider if you're a teacher or if you're concerned that this might, like, if your neighbors knew that you're writing, smutty shapeshifter werewolf romance,
Mhm.
and you feel like this is not something you want to have conversations about at the mailbox, then write up, use a pen name or say, hey, it's none of your business. None of your beeswax. All right. Love that though. Very, very nice. Let's see. Angel says definitely yes on a pen name that gives you some wiggle room to work on a different genre. I don't want my family to read the sex scenes of my romance books. Let me help you, Angel.
I get
In
it.
the beginning, every romance author feels like this. We all feel like, oh God, I don't want my grandmother to read this. And then you know what? You're going to find out your grandma likes it. Just saying. Just saying. Grandma likes that stuff too. Okay. Jen says, not that I have a ton of books or plan to anytime soon, but I did not use a pen name with a few that I have out there. Let's not discount yourself, Jen. I feel you. I think by the time you leave the earth, you are going to have a massive backlist. I can just feel it from here. So yeah, start thinking about that pen name thing. Angel says there's just some things that my dad and grandma shouldn't read. That's probably true.
I honestly feel like it's for people who feel that way, and I would feel that way too. It would, in my head, even if I was writing and I knew in the back of my head there's a chance my family could read this, it would inhibit my writing I need like to free that up in my head, be like, well, they're never gonna read this, so I can like
Right.
write what
I
I want.
never think about that anymore at
I'm
all.
I've
I
always
mean, I'm already intimately
yeah.
aware of the fact that my mother has a mad crush on Chris Hemsworth, probably to more detail than I should. Speaking of which, have you guys seen that pug on TikTok that's madly in love with Henry Cavill?
No.
Like, it can recognize Henry Cavill from, from the movies. The girl who owns this pug noticed that when she was watching Witcher. Sorry, sidebar, everybody,
So
because
funny.
this story is hilarious. So the owner of the pug, whose name I can't remember, uh, was watching Witcher starring Henry Cavill, and she noticed her pug, who had never watched TV before, suddenly watching television.
Oh
So
my god.
then she started doing all these experiments. Is it just TV? Is it just actor? Like, what's the deal? And then people started sending her like Henry Cavill merch, pillows, and things like that. Turns out the dog can definitely tell when it's Henry Cavill, where she's glued to the TV, versus when it's not, except for The Count of Monte Cristo, where she did not recognize him. But all his other movies she got.
Wow.
And then people started sending, this is like when you know you have great fans. People started sending the pug gifts. And she
Oh.
started putting pictures up in the dog's like little area of Henry Cavill, and the dog would just like stare at the picture. And then people started sending, so now she has like they're calling it the Geralter, like Geralt, altar, Geralter. So then she noticed that like, so then they had lots of pillows and pictures and everything, and the dog would just gaze adoringly. So then she tried covering up the pictures with other actors, and the dog would like look and then get all like what's happening. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You have to see it.
I will look that up. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like you cannot believe how much this dog loves Henry Cavill. I mean, I understand where she's coming from for sure, but seriously, this is such an interesting point of view. So you would think for traditional publishing that they might do that, but honestly, having been in traditional publishing for a long time and having published several kinds of books, nobody ever said anything to me. Even at different publishers, like it wasn't like when I wrote my first YA for I think that was for St. Martin. No, that was actually for Penguin too. So I have 3 different genres. I have a YA, nonfiction, and contemporary romance, all with the same publisher. And they never said, it never even occurred to them. It didn't even occur to them to make like the covers look like I was the same author. Like they're so completely different. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Sometimes it really depends on the publisher, your editor. In comics, it was really hard. I'm an artist and I'm an artist for a while, and then I want to write something. And then one editor says, I need to look at my Rolodex and see you in this file. And if you're over in that file, how am I supposed to categorize you? And I'm like, well, why not both? Then I
Right.
start submitting ideas that are getting some interest. And then another editor said, if you're going to pursue this writing thing, I can't give you any more art assignments. And I'm like, So not to give the dark side, but those editors who are at Marvel who've been there for time immemorial, corporate butt kissers, don't trust them.
You heard it here first. We're so glad you're here. Love, love, love that. Okay, so Mama says, I know someone whose family freaked out when they found out she was writing male, female romances because she, quote, embarrassed the community. You know, that's one of those things. Like for me, I don't. For me, that would make me want to do it anyway. I just make my name bigger on the next book. But I also get like a lot of people don't want to deal with that stress. So in that case, a pen name can be very, very valuable. Dulcie Saruna, we are super happy to see you. Very glad that you are here today. Mama says it was so bad her middle daughter wouldn't let her keep the grandkids anymore, and her husband threatened her to divorce her if she continued.
Good Lord.
What? You know what's interesting is we actually have a question that's really similar to that. Hold on, let me go get the banners. This is our second question. My family says writing is not a real job, and I'm wasting my time trying to write a book. I don't want to quit, but I'm having a hard time defending my choices because I haven't had any success. It should be yet, except StreamYard cut me off. I only got ye. I haven't had any success. Yay. So this is going to be our this is going to be the last thing that we talk about before we go today, but we are going to get one more sprint in.
Yeah, this is a good question too, because that's so many people in that position.
Exactly. So this is what we're going to be talking about. If you have thoughts, drop them in the comments, and we are going to do our last 20-minute writing sprint. I just went over there and almost just turned on the timer without you guys. I'm just going to go. See you in 20 minutes. All right, hold on here. There we go. Now I've got it together. All right, here we go, everybody. Last sprint. We're going to really make this one count. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Cha cha. Okie dokie. We are back. Let me just go ahead and get that banner off and get rid of that sound. Oh, we've got lots and lots of fun stuff. So, love, love, love. Let me just pull up our second question again. I hope you guys all did really well on that last sprint. We're going to talk about this for just a couple minutes before we roll today. My family says writing is not a real job and that I'm wasting my time trying to write a book. I don't want to quit, but I'm having a hard time defending my choices because I haven't had success yet. People had some stuff to say about this. Mama Ward says, my family knows that writing is how I deal with my post stroke symptoms. They understand now we won't be rich someday, but I always make certain to tell them when I need it. It's about communication. Oh, love that. Spence says, managed to get a freelance writing gig that was big enough to buy dinner for my parents. When I told them how I made the money, all criticism stopped.
Oh,
There you
money
go.
changes everything.
Yeah.
It
You'll
does.
find friends and people who are proud of you, who were totally doubting you before. At least I did.
Mm-hmm. Jen is a ghostwriter for her job. Authoring comes second, though ghostwriting takes up all of my time usually. I feel that. Um, it's I think that a lot of people who are doing two things at once. Michelle, you in particular are always you've always got like
A billion
ghost
things.
ghost books going, your
Yeah.
books going, all the same. I I agree that it is tough when your family does not support you. I think I mean, it's funny because my friend Abby Whitnebert, who wrote a brilliant book that has won a ton of accolades and was published through Penguin, I think. She and I met before she was published. Her agent was shopping her book, and we met because she was neighbors with a TV producer that I worked with on the daytime show. And I took her to her first book signing, Kristen Harmel, and we had this really fascinating conversation on the way back, which I ended up writing about. Um, and what I realized was that I was really not that I didn't know this before, but I felt very, very fortunate because no matter what, my mother has always been, when I said I wanted to be an author, she'd be like, "Oh, your grandmother always wanted a writer in the family." Like it was always, or I'd say like, "Well, it can be really tough to make a living sometimes," and she'd say things like, "Well, if anybody can do it, you can." And so just to have that constant reinforcement,
Mhm.
whereas with Abby, her, she did not have that. She had a lot more of, with the reader who wrote in asking the question, had that same experience where they were like, "Oh, you've got an MBA. Why would you waste your life trying to write books?" And I guess the answer is like there there's a difference between families of origin and families of choice. And if your family of origin, meaning the people that you are, that you grew up with, that you're related to, if they're not supportive, find other people who are. This is a real job.
Yeah.
People do make a living. You can pay your mortgage writing
Of
books.
course.
And if this is what you want to do, then don't let anybody tell you otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Also, this is very broadly speaking.
Right.
People generally react strangely when people in their lives make changes. So if
True.
you're trying to just start writing for a job, if you're trying any kind of career shift, you will have people in your life who you expect to be supportive who might be like, they might have a weird, seemingly negative reaction, and just know that that's an issue they have with themselves and not really with you,
Mhm,
I think.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah, we're all creatures of habit, and what
Mhm.
people think of as normal or real is real to them because that's what they know. They can't
Yeah.
conceive of doing anything different. And I've known a lot of very fearful people who had talent and never did anything just because fear got in the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you really have to depend on yourself. You may find support, maybe you won't. I mean, with the internet, there's a lot more support out there, but it has to come from within. If you love it, you find time to keep doing it. If you work a day job, you know, I've worked day jobs and I've brought a tablet along with me and I just kept doing my thing. You just
Yeah.
keep
Yep.
moving forward.
That's it. I mean, I know authors who, are dictating or writing on like on an iPad or, something, or just scratching down notes in a notebook,
Hmm.
when they're in the kid pickup line, or, or if you have a long commute or even a mid-sized commute,
Mm.
there. you can wake up an extra hour in the morning or whatever, but don't let anybody steal your dreams.
Yes.
Just,
Yeah.
Agree.
yeah, just don't. That feels like a really good place for us to end. Don't let anybody steal your dreams. Um,
Agree.
yeah, exactly. I did say something a few minutes ago that was a total lie. Um, and that was that I would see you guys next week. And I will not, because Granny Janny is taking off on a jet plane right in the middle of the stream. And I would like to see,
Oh,
I like to see her off to the airport. So we will be doing a few lighter streams over the summer. But we'll be off next week, and then once again we'll be back the week after. So
awesome. All right.
fantastic. You guys are amazing. We are super, super glad to see you. This is awesome. We have some like great, blah, 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 blah. Great comments today.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great comments. Oh,
Agreed.
Victoria, this is such great advice. Not sure if this would apply to the questioner, but you can try to change the conversation to making money from making money to it just being a fun thing to do. Yeah, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jen also wanted to know, how do you balance it all, Michelle? I have a lot of
I don't.
caretaking I'm doing at the moment, but it's hard. Normally, I need sleep.
I don't. I feel like I don't half the time. Like I was very flustered this morning and felt like that paralysis of, oh, I have like 5 things to do before the sprint. Which one do I pick? I can't pick any of them. It's a daily struggle. Some days are better than others.
Yeah,
That is
that never goes away. I mean,
No.
if you get a contract and you're busy with deadlines, then you're gonna be juggling 10 things, and you're like, "How did I not fit writing into the 5 things I previously had to do, but I didn't have time?"
right.
Yep.
Well, I will say that during, like, I have had times where I had a day job and I was writing, and times where I just was full-time author.
Mhm.
And I will say that throughout all this, especially when you have a day job, one of the key things to do is make sure that you are giving your best part of your brain, the best
Mhm.
part of your day, whenever you're the most creative or the most, alive, to your work. Your employer will not die if you give your best 2 hours of the day to yourself. So do it.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, that's the
Yep.
thing. This is, and for a lot of us, it just feeds us. So, yeah, I think it's challenging. It can be really challenging. So I
That
hope you guys all have.
dictation device helps too if you're working a day job and you have ideas and you just dictate it really fast. So when you sit down, you have a whole lot of stuff to go on. So you kinda have to plan and use your time wisely, but your mind is always working, and it's easy
Mhm.
to capture thoughts now, so
That is true. And I mean, think about that when you're deep in the weeds of writing a book, how often you're doing something else and you get like a little snippet
Uh-huh.
of conversation, or like,
Yes.
oh, I should have him do this, or oh, I should set this up earlier. That you can do that at work too, right? Those little thoughts are still going to
Mhm.
bubble up. And as long as you're writing every day, I think that can be, or at least as often as you're able to for your own schedule, I think that's great. She told me later that she didn't want that for me. My mother understood later on after I was getting going. So I think that's another thing too. It's not always like nefarious parents who want you to be an accountant and they're just not going to settle for anything less or
Right.
anything different. A lot of times they're worried that you're going to starve to death and they want
Yes.
you to get a job where they're pretty sure that you will have employment for the rest of your life. The
Right.
sad thing is there's no job like that. There just is. There
Nope.
things are always
Yeah.
changing. The things we all need now, they don't, you're not gonna leave in 20 years. So yeah.
These days, nothing is really secure, so your writing is probably more secure than working for a corporation that might just change their mind and sweep everybody into the street, so
That
Absolutely.
is the truth. That is the truth. Plus, you'll be doing something that you actually love to do. And I think that there's always like such extraordinary value in that. Well, you guys are amazing. We love you, love you, love you. And we will see you in 2 weeks. And happy writing, everybody. I hope you guys have a great day. All right. Bye, everybody.
take
Thanks
care,
for
Bye.
everybody.
being here.